What's going on, everybody? Jeff Rieger, another episode of the Daily Ticket. This one for a Thursday, 6/6. It's June 6, 2024. And I hope you're having a great day. Now, if you were looking for the episode yesterday of the Daily Ticket, yeah, we got to talk. So on Tuesday, I get an email from the big boss at corporate. And it said, "Hey, Jeff, do you have time for a quick chat?" And of course, I said, yes. And I kind of had the feeling that things weren't all that great, apparently, because I got the call and I got told that was canceled. 8, 9 months of doing the Daily Ticket. Apparently, corporate doesn't think we can make any money, or maybe just not enough money. So, effective immediately, I'm canceled. It's over. Done. So, I wanted to do one last episode of the Daily Ticket just to thank you all because you guys are awesome. Everybody that has watched or listened, I really want to thank you. However, the story doesn't end there because I went to work on Tuesday and I was told that we got a chance to save the Daily Ticket, people. Apparently, there's a chance to save the Daily Ticket. I'll know more next Friday, but there's a chance that the Daily Ticket survived. Like, you ever been a fan of a great TV show that all of a sudden gets canceled? Remember Santa Clarita Diet on Netflix? I think Josh Duhamel was on that show. That was a great show. Got canceled. Deadwood, thought was a great show. Got canceled. Twin Peaks, great show. Got canceled. So I kind of felt like, at least for a second, like, hey, I think maybe I had a decent show and I got canceled. But apparently, we have a chance. We have a chance to save the Daily Ticket. There might be some sponsorship possibilities coming up. And if that happens, the Daily Ticket will move on. It will survive. If it doesn't, we'll be dead. We'll be canceled. So in the meantime, there's a change in the schedule of the Daily Ticket that I just want to tell you about. From now on, until we determine if the show dies or if it survives, there's only going to be 2 episodes a week. Mondays and Thursdays, new episode of the Daily Ticket. And then hopefully, if we get picked up, if we do get the sponsorship, if the show survives, we absolutely will go back to 5 days a week. So I have no idea if you enjoyed the Daily Ticket. I just want to thank you for watching and listening to the Daily Ticket. This is not about me. I'm going to be okay. But I've been canceled. And then I was revived. So I still might be canceled. I still might die. But it's been fun regardless. So I just wanted to thank you. So how about we do this? Because at least, again, 2 days a week, we're going to bring you the Daily Ticket. And yesterday, it was a big story. At least I thought it was. Because the Tigers have won 3 in a row. Now, at the recording of this podcast, it's 5:34 on a Wednesday. I don't know if they're going to win on Wednesday night. It's Kenta Maeda on the mound. I don't think it's going to be promising, but what the hell do I know? Like, the Tigers are 2.5 games out of a wild card at the recording of this podcast. They are 1 game up on the 500 mark. So it's all good stuff, right? It's all good stuff. They're playing better baseball. Their pitching is elite. They're hitting just enough to get you excited. And I'll be honest, I watched the game on Tuesday night in Texas, and they ended up winning 3-1. Zach McKinstry had a big 2-run homer to right field. And after the game, I'm like, wow, if this team can just get some kind of run support for the Flahertys, the Scoobles, and the Olsons, you're going to win 3 games every 5 days. You're going to end up winning 91 games because there's still like 100 games left to go in the season. But the Tigers are in it. They're officially in it. Even though their front office has come out and said, we don't want to be in it. Even though Scott Harris has pretty much said, this is an evaluation year. They are in it because you can't be 2.5 games out of a wild card spot and not be in it. So something interesting happened yesterday. The morning show, Costa, Jansen, Heather, we're talking about the Tigers. And who calls them but Kirk Gibson, the Tigers legend, apparently waiting on the phone lines, called in maybe on his own. We're going to talk about that. I want to play for you the Kirk Gibson morning show back and forth. And then I have many things to say. Go ahead and take a listen. It's about 5 minutes. Do you have the time? I hope you have the time. I mean, we could be dying, people. Make 5 minutes for me. Take a listen. This was Gibby with the morning show.
Hey, Kirk Gibson. Good morning, Gibby.
Hey, guys. How are you today?
Great. Hey, thanks for calling in.
You guys, you on the ledge or what?
What's your take on where the Tigers are right now?
I don't know why. I mean, it seems like there's a negativity on where they are, and I think that they're in pretty good shape right now. I mean, for where we started, and since Scott Harris has come in, I know he's taken some criticism. I mean, everybody has an opinion, but let's just we're sailing along pretty good. A lot of guys have improved, and let's keep the foot on the gas. Let's keep supporting them. It's hard to win, and we're not the Yankees. We're the Tigers. Play pretty good down there in Texas. The offense isn't a strength, but I think they've shown this year. They're giving others an opportunity in the organization that have been in the organization for a while to do well, and they have. They have the Ibanez has come up, Perez has come up, Carp is a guy that's been developed through the minor leagues. These guys, Colt Keith, look what they put on this kid. I mean, he's done pretty damn good. I learned how to play in the major leagues. It's a hell of a place to learn. Go to the big leagues. Where would you want to learn? And I was pretty brutal for a while too. I mean, it's looking for the right combination. So I listen occasionally, and it seems a little too negative for me. I'm a positive guy, and luckily the team isn't cashing it in. It's not.
Well, Gibby, I think they're trying. They're definitely trying. We've never questioned the effort, at least not from the players, maybe from front office not giving them enough offensively to challenge this season, and that's been what's held them back. I mean, I know that you call in today, they finally have a winning record. We had been negative. They had a losing record for a long stretch, and the bats haven't fully developed, and Torkelson would be one of those big examples of an area that I think we're right to be negative about, Gibby.
Well, I don't think so, because look at Matt Vierling. How about that story? How's he been? We traded for him, and he's developed, and you remember what the mandate was, control the zone, right? At the beginning of the year, everybody bought into that. Are they doing a better job of controlling the zone? Pitching-wise, yes. Batting-wise, yes. We're not hitting as many home runs, but look at our outfield defense. It's way up there. It's making us a way better team. Infield defense, Javier Baez, in the past, when he struggled, they just played him. They're giving others a chance. McKinstry, here he comes. So I think it's just all the way you look at it. And, I've listened to enough radio, and I've been criticized myself, and rightfully so at sometimes. So I get it, but I'm just here to offer you a better picture. I think I look in the minor leagues like, there's some criticism of the number one pick last year. The kid's got a lot of energy. He's a pretty good athlete. You guys are just asking who's on the way, who's next. That kid could be something special. I mean, you look at Kansas City. I just heard that we were on the same level with them when we beat them the first time in. And they've got Bobby Witt Jr. It's a stud.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're always looking for studs, and I'm here to tell you the development of the organization as a whole, and of the players. These players have a way better opportunity to develop into a good major league player. And I was looking today at my reels as I came up, and in the morning I was going through my little routine. And 40 years ago today, do you know what happened?
What?
40 years ago today, the famous 13-pitch at bat into a home run by Dave Bergman. You guys know who Dave Bergman is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
we would not have won the World Series without Dave Bergman. He accepted his role. He made sure everybody else accepted their role, and they did. And our scrubs, as they were called, they had a huge impact on 1984 and what we accomplished. And they're looking for guys like that. You know,
Sure.
For us, it was Enos Cabell. Then it was Richie Hebner. And those guys, then it was Dave Bergman, along with Darrell Evans and Willie Hernandez. Just look at the moves that were made to develop that team. And I'm just telling you that be patient. I'm not criticizing you guys. I'm just offering you.
Gibby, you're welcome anytime, and we can go back and forth anytime. This is a welcome surprise.
Yeah,
so
thanks
I
for calling.
appreciate you calling in this morning. Appreciate you listening.
All right, boys. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so there's the back and forth, Kirk Gibson, and of course the morning show. Here's a couple of things that I need to tell you. We all love Gibby. We all love what Gibby did in 1984 to help bring the Tigers their last World Series, which, by the way, was 40 years ago. By the way, he mentioned that Dave Bergman game. I was actually there. Young Jeff Rieger, 9 years old, sitting almost right behind home plate at Tiger Stadium. Like everybody had gone. It was late in the game, and we got to move to better seats. I remember that at bat by Dave Bergman, but that's not why we're here. Here's what I think. I can't prove this. I think the Tigers organization asked Gibby if he would call in to try to spread some positivity about the Detroit Tigers. That's what I think, because Gibby did it to me. This is years ago. I was filling in for Mike and Rico, and Al Avila just got offered a contract extension. Chris Ilitch gave Al a contract extension, and Al announced it himself. Called the press conference and announced that he was getting extended. I happened to be on the radio. I didn't like Al all that much. I liked him as a person, just thought he was a bad GM. So I started ripping on how the Tigers handled it. Who called up but Kirk Gibson? And he went probably about 10 to 11 to 12 minutes back and forth with me about why I was wrong about Al Avila, why I am wrong about the Tigers, and why the Tigers are going to be good. Now, they're still not all that good. Kirk Gibson works for the Tigers organization. He works for them. So what I think happened was the Tigers asked Gibby to call up the morning show and spread some positivity, which, by the way, I don't even get why. Like, why even call up? If the Tigers get hot, and they've won 8 of 11 games, but if they get hot, they're 2.5 games out of a wild card spot. Fans are going to glom on. We are a great sports town, especially when our teams win. And if the Tigers were to get hot, you still got 100 games left to go in the season. This fan base will go nuts, exactly how you saw them go for the Red Wings last year when they almost made the playoffs. So I don't even think this was needed. However, the Tigers, Gibby, apparently we're being too negative. I want to point out a couple quick things. All right. Number one, he said Javier Baez in the past, when he struggled, Jay just played him, but now they're trying other guys. Sweet. I'm supposed to throw a parade on that, apparently. Like, okay. He said, seems a little too negative, talking about us on the radio, the morning show specifically, talking about the Tigers. And then he said, luckily the team isn't cashing it in. Isn't that a bare minimum? To have effort? To not cash it in? They cash their checks. They shouldn't cash it in. My favorite, though, was when Gibby said, we're not the Yankees. We're the Tigers. So what is that exactly? Well, we don't spend like the Yankees. I know the Yankees haven't won a World Series since '09, but many people believe the Yankees are at the top of the Major League Baseball pecking order. Well, why not aspire to be like the Yankees? We're not the Yankees, we're the Tigers. So what does that mean? Just be happy that we don't completely stink? See, that's what I got from that phone conversation with Kirk Gibson. And I respect Kirk Gibson. And I'm very grateful to Kirk Gibson because when I was 9 years old, he helped bring me a world championship. But we're not the Yankees. This to me, only my opinion, this is Kirk Gibson and the Detroit Tigers trying to tell the fan base, just be happy with what you got. Be happy with what you got. It's the constant message. Just be happy. Like, that's what I got. To tell a fan base that hasn't won a World Series in 40 years, that hasn't been to the playoffs in 10 years, in the time the Tigers last went to the postseason, do you know every other team in the AL Central has won the division with the exception of the Tigers? To tell a fan base, have patience when you're sitting through rebuild after rebuild after rebuild, I think rather offensive. And it's this message by the Tigers, just be happy with what you got. Scott Harris has already come out and said this is an evaluation season. He already said they're not making the playoffs. They're not trying to win this year, per se. Now, it's going to be really interesting because if this team continues to win, and they got that third wild card spot in the AL, so they got a shot to make the postseason. Is Scott going to spend at the deadline if they're in a wild card spot or if they're close to a wild card spot? I don't know. Does Scott even want to spend? Is Scott going to turn around and trade Jack Flaherty, a guy that he did a really nice job bringing him over to Detroit? I'm curious what you make of the Kirk Gibson phone call to the morning show. That was my take. Be happy with what you got. That's what he's trying to tell everybody. Be patient. Be happy with what you got. I don't know. I just didn't think it was necessary. I think if the Tigers continue to win, this fan base is going to go crazy. And people down at Comerica Park and the Tigers organization are going to be quite happy because everybody's going to be aboard because we're a fucking amazing sports city. So let me know what you think on the comments section and where you at. Also, we'll catch you on Monday. Again, 2 daily tickets a week until otherwise, until we're dead, canceled, which could happen, or maybe the sponsorship comes through and we're back to 5 days a week. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching and thank you guys for listening, and you guys are the best. We'll catch you on Monday on the Daily Ticket. That phone call was tough. Canceled. I was canceled for like 3 hours. I was dead for 3 hours. Daily Ticket was dead. By the way, I was going to say goodbye. Just so you know, if it died on Tuesday, I was going to say goodbye because you guys do mean the world to me. And thank you. I mean, this has been, whether we die or whether we continue, this has been a really fun 8 to 9 month journey. And I don't know. I think it's gotten better. I don't know. You can tell me. All right. We'll catch you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.